Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be painting some Christmas wooden ornaments as gifts. I wasn't sure when the best time to post this video would be because I didn't want to post it before Christmas and then ruin the surprise for everyone that I was giving the gift to. So hopefully this is an okay time and everyone's still feeling a little bit Christmassy. So I ordered these wooden slices from Fuyit. And it came as 12 slices with a hole drilled in the middle, and it came with this string so you can tie it and make an ornament. It was pretty overwhelming when I sat down and realised how many that I needed to do, but it's okay. It felt like I was going to paint an entire tree, but I just sat down and grabbed my iPad and decided to make some plans and sketches, kind of drafts, to think about my ideas, and then I wasn't feeling so overwhelmed after that. It was a good place to start. So I opened up Procreate, took a photo of the wood, and then opened up Pinterest to have a look at some ideas. I sketched out a design, played around with some colours, tested out different colour palettes, and here were some draft ideas that I came up with in the end. So I'm using acrylic paint because this will sit nicely with the wood and not go funny like oil paint would. But because I wanted to keep the texture of the wood to make the ornaments look a bit rustic, I didn't sand the slices first, so it was quite difficult to paint on as the texture was a little bit funny and the paint sunk straight into the fibres of the wood, so it wasn't as spreadable as if I was painting on paper. So that was something that I had to figure out as I was going along. As these were gifts, I wanted to make them personalised and write the name of the person on the ornament. But this was pretty tricky. I had to get a really tiny brush and just go super slow when I was painting the name. I did use a pencil and sketch it on first so that I could get all the placement of the letters right before I went in with the paint. And I also tried to use contrasting colours for the text than the paint colour that I'd used for the background circle so that the words, the names stood out. I tried to use designs that I thought each person would like. So for my little sister, I did these cute little flower designs, but I did try to make everything Christmassy. So I went in with some Christmas festive patterns. For this design, I was switching between that rounded brush to do the big blob at the end for the leaves and this tiny little detail brush to connect the leaves to the stem and add the little extras. something that I was really trying to focus on was using a limited colour palette. I mixed up some colours and I had tested the colour palette first on my iPad to find colours that I was happy with. So a way that I checked that I got this consistent was I just held up my palette knife, which I'd mixed the paint with, next to the colours on the iPad, and kept mixing, adding little bits of colours until it was the right shade. And this helped me to keep the designs consistent. And to make these extra special, I went in with that metallic gold acrylic paint to add little dots around the edge and give it a little bit of Christmas sparkle. I did choose quite festive designs as they were Christmas gifts, but of course you could do any design that you wanted, and you could give them for birthday, Easter, anything, or you could just make them for yourself and hang them around your house. I think that'd be super cute. So I just painted it quite a few bases in one go so that I could get that all done and out of the way and then get on with the fun part, which is the designs. But I did have to plan this in advance, who was going to get what design and on what colour, so that I made sure that I had enough of the right colour backgrounds. This painting didn't go exactly as planned, as I was finding it really tricky to get clean lines and super thin lines, so I ended up altering the design a little bit to what I'd done on the plan, but I think it worked out okay in the end. Now, these videos are in 6x speed, so don't be fooled at how fast I just sketched that word on there. It took a long time and it was so tricky to keep my hands steady, but I think I managed to mask any mistakes that I did make. For this Christmas tree design, I wanted it to be a little bit more realistic than being just a flat colour, so I tried to feather out the brush strokes and make it look like pine needles. I just went in freehand with this, didn't do a sketch before, so it was kind of going with the flow and seeing what happened. After I'd added the base colour of green, I went in with a darker colour to add to the layering, and then added some little white tips to the branches to make it look like it had snow frosted leaves. And of course we can't forget the gold star at the top. So here I'm painting a little robin. It kind of just looks like a big blob at the beginning, but you've got to keep going and add more details and it comes together in the end, I promise. So I'm adding a little branch that he's going to sit on and some different shades of brown to the feathers and also to the underbelly to give him a little bit of depth. Now this bit was super nerve-wracking going in with that bright red, but you've got to trust the process and just hope that it goes right. Now for this one, because I had done such a dark blue base colour, I knew that if I painted straight with the red, the vibrancy was just not going to be what I wanted it to be. So I first of all went in with a layer of white for the shape that I was going to paint. And because this green is so pale, it had a lot of white added to it, so it didn't need a base coat for that. But I knew when I was using the red straight from the tube, it was not going to have the opacity that I wanted it to. And then when I went in and covered the white with the red paint, it was just so much more vibrant than if I'd painted directly with it. So I was really happy with how that turned out. And now this final design might look like the easiest, it's just a little snowflake, but let me tell you, it was the hardest one of the bunch. The lines were so difficult to get straight and thin without looking janky and with wobbly sides, and it took so long trying to clean them up. But I think in the end, I pulled it off. I'll let you be the judge of that one. And here we go, here are all of the final ornaments painted. Let me know which one is your favourite, or if you would have done anything differently. Personally, I like the big red flower the best. And then here are the ornaments hanging on the string, so you can visualise what they would look like on your tree. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Bye!